as I grow older in life, I realize that there's very few profound answers to anything. So when you're younger, you think that there is something that you could do that will get you a little bit ahead, or that will change the tides for your luck, right? There is some sort of rules for riches, but there often isn't. It's just a gradual, slow process that happens that is incremental, and you'll never see any change on a day-to-day basis. It's really interesting. I think it's almost a perfect analogy when you see just training, because it happens at a little bit of a faster scale. But if you see training for an Olympic event, so I swim a lot, and one thing that you'll see with the swimming is that, let's say you're swimming 100 meters, and what's going to happen is so the first time you swim 100 meters, you might be able to do it in 3 minutes. And then the second time that you do it, you might be able to do it in 2 minutes and 59 seconds. And so you think, well, I can get faster at this. So you train and train and train, and you do that for 4 months, and you realize that I'm doing this in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. And then you train and train and train some more, and then you realize that you can get there in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And then over the course of 2 or 3 years in doing this repeatedly, you get to about 1 minute and 40 seconds. And then you got to train and train and train some more until eventually you're at 1 minute and 25 seconds. And what I'm getting at is that any given day, nothing much happens. There's no rule. There's nothing that is miraculous. But over the course of several years, several decades, things start to really look amazing. And, there's no single rule. There's no single thing that will change instantly what you have done, besides sort of cheating, I guess, right? Taking steroids or something like that. But, it's a really gradual, slow, and tedious, boring process. And it doesn't matter what area you're looking at, whether it's athletics, whether it's business, whether it is, academia and sort of thinking about ideas. The whole process is extremely slow. So the phenomenon that I study, I'm intimately aware of. I guess I'm sort of considered an expert at this point, and it is thinking about learning and learning curves. And this idea of learning curves. So when you first look at it, it's like, oh yeah, okay, so things get better as you do it, as you repeatedly do it. But what you don't sort of realize, and you don't sort of clue in, is that the actual units of what's going on, right? So the one thing that you look at is the number of units that are being produced, or maybe it's time as something to look at. But what you realize is that scale is actually extremely long. And in reality, it's a really slow, boring time that happens. And it's incremental. It's tiny little steps. And it's not anything that happens quickly to come down that learning curve where you get better. It's decades that you're looking at. And in between those decades, there's a lot of things that happen. There's a lot of sort of weird emotional things that you go through every day. You just got to get up and do it again. And that's the key. And that's, hopefully you'll see this with the Reciprocity Project, is I try not to miss a day, because I know it slow and steady always wins the race. It's the thing that has worked in my life repeatedly. It's the thing I study. And it's the only way I'm actually going to get people to to understand what I'm doing and what is the alternative. That's the thing. If there was an alternative that was easier, it would make sense to do it. But how else do you build a platform from scratch? I don't know. And that's the thing where you have to come to terms with is it's the slow and steady, one day at a time. Perhaps eventually someday there'll be, investment from other people, but how else do you do this other than doing it day in and day out and being boring, nothing fancy, and that's it. Every single day you try, you get up and you do it. And that's the story. And hopefully you'll see that as well in your own life. You just get up and you keep trying every day. All right, take care.